Well, well, well. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. All praises. All praises. Well, well, well. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. What's up, family? Just trying to get things situated. So when it's time to go, it's time to go. Hopefully everybody's well on the Shabbat. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh Shai. Always got to acknowledge the Most High in the name of our only begotten Son, His only begotten Son, the Savior of Israel and Israel alone. Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. All right. Who's in the house so far? All right, now I'm around the fam. Shalom, shalom. Shalak, shalom. Isabella, shalom. Tell your husband I said shalom if he's not tuning in. If that's him, shalom. Or both of y'all, you know. Brother Keith, shalom. What's going on, tonight? Hey, shalom, Sister Jackie. All right. All praises to Quab. I see you, Ak Shalom. Aladai, what's good, my brother? I see my man in the Northwest. He's on deck. Shalom, Uziel. And Malachi. Let's see here. No, there's not no Red Bull. No, your brother's not struggling. It's sparkling water, Avion water. All right. I'm not on the energy kick right now. I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Man, all praises to the Most High, man. They done took the restrictions off of the messengers page, so we're back over there, getting ready to start rebuilding on that page again after YouTube then decided to take its liberties out on us, chopping us down once again. You know what I mean? What's interesting about that too? Before we get started, uh, UZL man sent me a video that had what's his name? Some Edomite man. Um, hold on one second, y'all. I got a bunch. Trying to clean off my keyboard. All right, my bad. Uh, I see a video brother sent me, and the Edomite female man made a whole video talking about how Raphael Sadiq of Tony fame, my old school fam, you know who that is. It never rains in Southern California. Anniversary, you know. Hold on, this thing is tripping. I don't know if y'all heard me, man. My computer blanked out for a hot second. But nonetheless, when you talking about misinformation, you talking about putting on slanderous information, so forth and so on, man. I'm tripping off of saying, how in the hell could this female, this Edomite female, man, made a whole video and she was like from London or, Ireland or somewhere, man. The damn accent was disgusting. She makes a whole video talking about uh Raphael Sadiq died. And it was a lie. Ask me, is that video still up? Ask me, has that channel been suspended? Uh, you know damn well it hasn't. But as soon as we say anything as a matter of truth, you're out of here. Strike down, reporting. The watchdogs and the bots is on. You know what I mean? All kind of madness going on. All right, man. Everybody, all right on the Shabbat, man? Let me know you good. Give me a 7 in the chat, man. If y'all are good, let me know if I'm coming in all right. Diz the Wiz, my sister. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Now I'm just wondering if everybody else wiped their feet before they came in. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Huh. You know what I'm talking about. You came into the house, man. Did you wipe your feet on the mat? Did you make sure that you did good pleasantries and hit that like button? We really need it at this particular point in time. All right, all praises, man. Everybody give me them sevens, man. House of Elkanah. Hey, shalom to you and the family, man. Shalom to you and the fam. You know what time it is. You came into the house, man. Wipe your feet on the mat, man. Hit that like for me. Would you do that? We need it more than ever right now because we're trying to get the congregational page back on track. You know how it is. Once we get suspended, man, all the notifications be getting turned off. The subscriber count, gets hindered. Everything else, man. So we got some work to do in getting that back up to speed. So the more that you like, do that for me, and we can continue on with the normal scheduled programming, man. Glad to see everybody's good on the Shabbat. All praise, honor, glory to the Most High. Let's get right to the business at hand, man. There's a lot going on, more than the Super Bowl. All right, let's not get twisted up in that. There's a lot going on, you know. Let me share my screen. I'm gonna share it this way first. And let's see. All right, I'm gonna start off with a couple of videos first, and then we're gonna jump over to some of these articles because, as you see in the titling of the video, has Russia gave the green light to ignite World War III? That's the question, and we're gonna delve into that a little bit. We're gonna kind of see, um, you know, how the Most High is playing this out, minus the accusation of fear mongering or anything else, or being looked at as a false prophet, anything like that. So let's look at this thing in the spirit and really see what's going on because we're definitely in uh, high stakes times right now. All right, let's look at this first. Now we see here, right here, it says at the top, talks fail as Russia's icy Sergei Lavrov accuses deaf Liz Truss of not listening. So this was an attempt between the UK diplomat Liz Truss. She's had a meeting with the Russian diplomat regarding this war with this guy Sergey, whatever his name is. Okay, now they had a meeting to try to quell the spirit of war. Notice it says the talks failed. The talks failed, right? Vladimir Putin had a discussion with the French Prime Minister Macron. I think this last Tuesday, a couple days ago. That didn't go as planned. They both decided, hey, we don't want to go into war, but the pressure's on from the other allies of NATO, especially America. Okay, so let's look at this and watch this.
It's 9:30 in the morning, and the UK's Foreign Secretary is visiting Moscow State University. Textbook diplomacy called for, so she's not taking questions.
Are y'all hearing this okay? Because I know one other time the volume was low and whatever else, man. Put a 7 in the chat, man, if y'all can hear this okay. Do me that solid. Put a 7 in the chat so I can continue. Let me check the chat. All right, all praises. I see 1-7. Everybody else all right? Kind. All right. Good. All right. So here she is right here, masked up as usual. She's coming in to get to her meeting. She wasn't taking no questions. Strictly business.
Textbook diplomacy's called for, so she's not taking questions.
Minister, do you think your visit's going to make a difference?
By 11, she's crossed the capital to reach the Foreign Ministry house, where her counterpart, Sergei Lavrov, is waiting.
It's below zero here, and the reception she's about to receive could prove equally chilly. The Foreign Ministry warning that her tone needs to change if the meeting she's heading into now is to be productive.
See, notice they said that if she's to have any success, her tone needs to change. Now, ladies, if you're offended by what I'm getting ready to say, cover your ears. But it's the truth. This is why the Most High said that women are not to be leading. Women are not to be in positions of power as it pertains to being sitting on thrones, decision makings, matters of war, so forth and so on. She's emotionally leading these talks. They told her tone needs to change. Why is that? Because you come into a situation as a female and you already feel as though you're in a male dominated situation, so you're not going to be intimidated. So you're going to kind of flex your bra strap a little stronger. She gonna do that, especially the so-called white woman. And the problem with that is, our sisters end up leeching off of that same spirit, man, and they turn that into a quote strong black woman. That just means rebellious, loud mouth, and uh, a brawler and a weed head and everything else. It's not just so much the education. It's not so much just the the desire for hard work and take care of your home and all of that. That's all cool. See, a strong so-called black woman, Hispanic woman, is one who can move in the spirit of humility, shamefacedness. Those are all things that we've seen in the scriptures, right? The virtuous woman in Proverbs 31. That's a strong woman. You know what strength it takes for a sister to sit back and kind of hold her tongue, even though she wants to say something, even though she's got to curtail that spirit on her. That's strength. Strength ain't letting it all out and nigga, you did that. No, 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 no. Let's get that clear. All right. So not to go off on a tangent, man, but the case of the matter is with the UK allowing her to be the voice, they're saying it all hinged on her. They said she's gonna have to change her tone and stop trying to be tough, stop trying to match, masculinity, unless she wants to, fully engage in this war. You know what? You listen. If Hillary Clinton was in charge, it would have been lit. Remember how she did Gaddafi? I played that a couple weeks ago. We came, we saw, he died. You see what I'm saying? Wants to try to prove that, hey, I can do just like that, just like a man, and worse. Let's go.
Ministry warning that her tone needs to change if the meeting she's heading into now is to be productive.
But after 2 hours of talks, Lavrov is frustrated, his language far from diplomatic.
After 2 hours of talks, Lavrov was frustrated, meaning he was getting nowhere with his hardhead, egghead Edomite.
As he compares their meeting to a conversation between a dumb and a deaf person.
I'm disappointed by the fact that we had a conversation of a deaf with a mute person, as if we listen to, but we do not hear. So our detailed explanations fell on deaf ears.
Not so.
So he says, listen, we've had a 2-hour talk that pretty much was in vain. We've explained our situation. We've given understanding regarding where we stand at in regards to this matter of war and NATO pushing the issue, trying to encroach further into Russian territory by absorbing the Ukraine into its international affairs. Russia saying, no, 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 that Ukraine is part of our original land. Ukraine was originally part of the USSR. They don't have no business trying to join NATO. They don't have to be involved. And NATO, you can't get closer to us because we don't get along. And if you do, and if NATO does decide to come through, we want guaranteed securities that you ain't gonna try no funny business. That's pretty much what's going on. Now he said this talk with her was pretty much like talking to a deaf, dumb, and blind person. He said everything went in one ear and out the other.
Who says Truss refusing to be intimidated.
You hear that? She's refusing to be intimidated. So what's she got to do? That's right. She's going to try to get tough.
Not so, says Truss, refusing to be intimidated.
We owe it to European security to do all we can to avert a war in Ukraine.
Lavrov's response, an audible sigh. The atmosphere icy as he momentarily leaves her at the podium.
That's got to be bad. She sat back and started talking. He let out a sigh like, here we go. And walked off. In the middle of this press conference. Now, how bad is it? How bad is it right now? When these are the type of talk, this is how it's going right now, and you're wondering if the threat of war is real? These are the diplomatic talks to get peace in order. Look how that went.
Also on the move, nearly 1,500 miles from Moscow, the Prime Minister visiting the head of NATO to underline the unity of the West against a threat he believes to be growing.
Look at this demon.
Our intelligence, I'm afraid to say, remains grim, and we're seeing the massing of huge numbers of tactical battalion groups, tactical groups on the borders of.
I mean, is there any day that this dude is going to actually put a comb to his hair? And we're talking about a leader of one of the biggest nations in the world, one of the more influential nations in the world, and he's just a straight bum, man. This is Esau for you, though. But he said the situation is grim.
Of Ukraine, 70 or more. This is probably the most dangerous moment.
After Belgium, a roundtable meeting in Poland.
Now, this is from their mouths. The situation is grim. This is from their mouth. It's dangerous.
Where the first of 350 British Marines are joining American troops. It's about expressing solidarity and a response to this. It's Belarus, bordering Poland, where a huge 10-day exercise the Russian military is performing with its ally and neighbour is beginning. Moscow adamant none of this is a prelude to invading Ukraine. But back in the Russian capital, it's difficult to see any sign of a breakthrough.
Now, see, what's interesting about that, too, is because now they said they're seeing you got 100,000 troops on the border. You got snipers. You got, your warships. They just got through lining up at the sea. They've got everything lined up, and they're saying, "Oh no, this isn't. This is you're doing drills. This is Russia now," and they're saying that there's no threat of war. What are you talking about? This is normal. See, this is why the so-called white man plays games, because one side is saying one thing, the other side is saying something else. Somebody's lying. You know what they say? One side says one thing, the other side says something else. Somewhere in the middle is the truth. Let's look at Putin. Out his mouth. What's he saying?
Я хочу еще раз
And he
всё-таки
starts
подчеркнуть
off with a long sigh. That's a sigh of frustration, stress, knowing the inevitable. You understand? Notice what he said. I want to stress this one more time. Like, I'm done talking.
Ах, Я хочу еще раз все-таки подчеркнуть это. Я говорил, но мне очень бы хотелось, чтобы вы
Let me
меня
slow it down just in case y'all can't keep up. He said, I've been saying it, but I very much want you to finally hear me and deliver it to your audience in print, TV, and online.
услышали все-таки в конце концов. И донесли это до своих читателей, зрителей и пользователей в интернете. Но вы понимаете или нет, что если Украина будет в НАТО,
You see that? He said, do you realize if the Ukraine joins NATO and decides to take Crimea back, because Russia already seized Crimea and brought it back into the fold, they said now if the Ukraine decides to join NATO to try to make it an effort of military means, the European countries will automatically get drawn into a military conflict with Russia. Now he said, look, you know that. If Ukraine joins your gang, I mean, this is modern day gang banging, man. If y'all click up against us, then you know that means you're involved in this war too now.
и военным путем будет возвращать себе Крым, европейские страны автоматически будут втянуты в военный конфликт с Россией. Конечно, потенциал Объединенной Организации НАТО и
Now he's saying, look, of course, NATO's united potential and that of Russia are incomparable. Yeah, because NATO's got multiple nations involved. Hold on. Before we go there, let's look at how many. So he's acknowledging, he's saying that there's a North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So He's acknowledging. He says, look, we know the odds are stacked against us. 30 members. Belgium, Canada, all these. Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Iceland, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, the United Kingdom, and the United States. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And they've got other allies and member countries: Greece, Turkey, Germany, Spain, the Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland, Bulgaria. Oh, the list goes on. Y'all get the point. So this is the biggest gang on earth right now, all ran by Esau. Do you see any so-called black nations here? Huh? Any Hispanic nations involved? What indigenous tribes? Are they? No. These are all conglomerate nations of Esau, man. You talking about the beast. Look, from Belgium all the way to North Macedonia, these are all Greek. From Greece to the Netherlands, these are all Edomites, man. Okay. So now getting back to Putin, let me finish him. Let him finish. That's why he said, of course, NATO's united potential and that of Russia are incomparable. So we said we know that the odds are stacked against us, but he ain't backing down.
Россия несопоставима. Мы понимаем. Но мы также и понимаем, что Россия одна из ведущих ядерных держав. А по некоторым компонентам...
Whoa. I hate to keep stopping it, but look. What did he bring to the table? What did he use as a threat? See, all those nations don't have nukes. He said, well, you may have the numbers, but we've got nukes. So the threat of nuclear war isn't coming from propaganda, it's not coming from some conspiracies, not coming from... It's coming from the mouths of those who have the power to do so. He's the one to introduce where the levels he's willing to go and ready to go for. Because what you going to do? It's 30 against 1. Imagine you on the street, it's 30 against 1, and you got a knife on you. They don't. Are you going to pull out that knife, or are you just going to think it's a fair fight? Imagine it's 30 to 1, and you got a bat. Are you going to use that bat, or are you just going to say, no, it's not a fair fight? You got a gun, 30 to 1. You going to use that gun? I guarantee you, mostly everybody in here was going to say, yeah, I'm pulling up strap. I'm going. I got to get them up off you, man. 30 on me, they're going to kill me. Russia is no different. He said, we might be outmanned, but we got something called a nuke. We got ICBM missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles. We got all this. All right.
Одна из ведущих ядерных держав, а по некоторым компонентам по современности даже многих опережает. Победителей не будет. И вы окажетесь втянутыми в этот конфликт помимо своей воли.
You see that? He said you're going to see yourself involved in this, and you didn't even ask for it. You know, he's speaking to the smaller countries. You know, Belgium, Norway, Sweden. You know, they don't want no smoke like that. But he said, you're going to find yourself drawn into this against your will. And I can reach out and touch all of you little... you know what I'm about to say. So, utilizing intimidation, he's saying, look, do y'all really want you really want to go there? You know you're going to get drawn into this, even though you allowing the U.S. and the U.K. and France and all them to speak for you. But everybody's going to get involved if it goes there.
Вы даже не успеете глазом моргнуть, когда будете исполнять пункт 5 Римского договора. Господин президент, конечно, не хочет этого развития. И я не хочу. И я не хочу. Поэтому он здесь и находится, и мучает меня уже 6 часов подряд.
Putin is a fool, man. He said, look, I don't want war, neither does the president or Prime Minister Macron of France. He said, he's been sitting here torturing me for 6 hours talking to me about, fall back. Don't do it. So he's not playing. Let me blow this up now. He's not playing. But we see where it's at, man. It's World War. Yeah, that's right. That's right, UZL. I mean, the beast is attacking itself, man. It's a parasitic type beast. It conquers and eats everything in its way. Even when it runs out of prey, it starts eating itself. That's how we know that America's going to be finished. That's why Yahweh Shai said that a kingdom divided against itself can't stand. Once the beast starts running out of meals, it can't do nothing but feed on itself. And that's exactly what the body does. Body does the same thing. When you fast and then you're going to get, you're not able to eat for days on end, the body starts feeding on itself. It stores away fat. It starts utilizing those fats for carbs and everything else, trying to, keep it up. And then once that's gone, it starts collapsing the organs and everything else. So look at it from that perspective. But here we see this just came out yesterday. New intel suggests Russia is prepared to launch an attack before the Olympics ends, sources say. So right now they're even saying by Wednesday of next week, this thing can go hot. Now America's playing coy. America's saying, look, we're just sending troops they just sent another 3,000 troops over to Poland. They're playing around the fence. They're not sending them directly into the Ukraine. They're not saying, oh, we're going to get involved directly with Ukraine. We're jumping right on the front lines with them. America's playing slick. No, we'll help train them up. We got your back from behind here. We're over here in Poland. We don't we're here. Don't worry. They're playing that game. And then they're going to say, while you guys are fighting, we'll work on economic sanctions against Russia. We'll hit them in the pockets. Meanwhile, bodies is getting blown up, buildings are getting destroyed, ships are being sunk, planes are getting shot out the air, while they're working on how to hit them in the pockets. We've already covered that. Russia and China is already working out their own economic financial institutions backed by gold. They've been hoarding gold. They're already prepared for all of this. That's what makes this even more of a possibility that things go forward. See, but a Negro right now is sitting back, waging his bets, figuring out how much he's going to bet on the Rams. Put it in your pre-orders for your damn hot wings and thighs from what's the name? Wingstop or whatever. Piecing up your money to get your beer and your liquor for tomorrow. And meanwhile, war is at the tip of the tongue of all of the nations involved. World war. Let's finish this. The U.S. and its allies have new intelligence that suggests Russia could launch an attack on Ukraine even before the end of the Olympics. Multiple sources familiar with the matter tell CNN. Previous assessments had suggested that Russia was unlikely to move into Ukraine until after the Olympics, and on February 20th, U.S. officials had told CNN in the past. The revelation of the new intelligence comes as administration officials have dramatically ramped up the urgency of their public warnings related to Ukraine in the past 24 hours. See? So, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said Friday that a Russian invasion of Ukraine could, quote, begin at any time, including during the Beijing Winter Olympics, and the United States continues to, quote, to see very troubling signs of Russian escalation, including new forces arriving at the Ukrainian border. That's the first report. All right, let's move on. Launch of Russian military drill stokes fears of preparations for attack on Ukraine as diplomatic sparring continues. So now we're seeing that they're running more drills. They're up in the ante with more men coming over there. You see? Russia began 10 days of military exercises in Belarus on Thursday involving tens of thousands of troops, with warships entering the Black Sea for a large scale of naval drills that the Ukraine's foreign ministry said would render international shipping lanes virtually impossible to navigate. Now, see, and this is Russia saying, "Oh, what do you mean? We're not doing anything. This is normal. We're just running drills. We're gonna head back, to home base once we're done." See, they're playing games too. They're saying that all this is U.S. propaganda. How is that when the president just came out and said, "Listen, if the Ukraine decides to join NATO and tries to get Crimea back through military exploits, then it's lit, and we got nukes." And everybody that's bystanders, you sitting on the sidelines, you may not have said nothing, but because your alliances is with NATO, you involved too. The activity got underway as a flurry of high-stakes diplomatic efforts aimed at preventing a Russian invasion of Ukraine appeared to falter. In Berlin, negotiators representing Russia, the Ukraine, France, and Germany failed to come to an agreement after 9 hours of discussions seeking a resolution to conflict in eastern Ukraine's Donbass region. So, look, Russia, the Ukraine, France, and Germany all had them talks. That's where we just got to seeing um, Putin saying that he was talking with Macron of France. He said he's torturing him for hours. Like, I don't even want to hear it. You keep talking all this BS. It said it didn't go nowhere. So that means it's still on the table. Now look where we're at. Now look where we're at. Because they said Biden, they had a talk today for an hour. Matter of fact, um, let me see something. This just came out earlier today. I want to update everybody because this is what makes it interesting. It says Putin and Biden plan a high stakes phone call amid the Ukrainian crisis. So right now, everything is hindering on this phone call that happened. Okay, this is why. Let's get a scripture for it. This is why no fear mongering, no none of that. We're gonna play it as it is because who knows where it could go. It's all on the Lord. It's all on the Lord, right? If he feels as though and he sees that, hey, the children of Israel is getting their acts together, we're getting closer to our repentance, we're getting closer to our deliverance. He's seeing the beginning stages of understanding that, yeah, they're ready. Let's start, not end. Let's start the ending. Look at it, Job 12:16. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver is his. There's a lot of political games going on right now. There's a lot of political posturing going on. Fake news, real news, it's hard to determine and say, well, who's telling the truth and really where's this going? All we do know is what the facts are and what we see in front of us. Are there 100,000 plus troops over there at the Ukrainian border? Absolutely. Do they have snipers on deck? Absolutely. Did they just not, run drills in the naval drills in the Black Sea? Yes. Do we not see America sending over 3,000 troops, 8,000 troops? Do we not see the Ukraine stacking up, getting ready for war? Have we not seen, um, the diplomatic leaders, Putin, Macron, Biden, the list goes on, having talks and they're all failing? That's the facts. That's what we can confirm. Now, whatever yapping they doing, remember, we're talking about the so-called white man. He'll lie against himself. The poison of the asp in the ears, falling on deaf ears. You know what I mean? So the Most High is in control. He said, listen, the deceived and the deceiver is his. I'm running the show. And when the Most High says it's time to go, it's go time. All I can do is report on it. All I can do is reveal it and help brothers and sisters go along with the program of understanding where we're at. Let's look at this. Isaiah 50. No. Isaiah 55. And let's read verse 8. We'll just get right to it. Isaiah 55. And it says, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways, are your ways my ways, saith the Most High. So, we can push for, we can desire and say, man, it's going down, we got to get it. Or we could say, who knows? All we know is that we need to be aware and be vigilant. Isn't that what the scriptures tell us? Because everything is on the Most High. Everything right now that we're seeing, hey, it's looking pretty bad. It's looking pretty bad. And for the ignorant, we can say, what's that got to do with us? What's that got to do with us? This is going to impact everything from the threat of nuclear warfare going on. Do you understand the destruction that a nuke causes? Not only from the bombing, which causes immediate disintegration of body, uh, building, you name it, let alone after that fallout, it infects the air. It travels airborne. So once it hits the ground, the nuclear fallout hits the ground, crops, food, all that is done with. The air quality, you inhale any of that nuclear ash, cancer, you're done with, right? And it lasts for hundreds of years. Let alone even before that, you're already talking about economic uh, issues from stocks and all that other stuff. All businesses are going to be affected. Gas and power is going to be affected. That means everything is going up. The stakes is higher. Death, all that is going to affect everybody. That's how you know we're bringing in the end. Okay, this is why the Most High told us this in 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant. That means to be aware, be watchful, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. If you get caught slipping out there, the Most High said, then you're fair game. Satan got you, the adversary, the devil, he's gonna get us. So that's why we got to be aware. We got to be vigilant. We got to be, noticing and seeing where is this thing playing out at. So here we go. Putin and Biden planning a high stakes phone call amid the Ukrainian crisis. With the risk of war looming larger, Russian President Vladimir Putin and the U.S. President Slow Biden, prepared for a high stakes phone call Saturday as a tense world watched and worried that an invasion of Ukraine could begin within days. Look, before talking to Biden, Putin was to have a call with the French President Emmanuel Macron, who met with him in Moscow earlier in the week to try to resolve the biggest security crisis between Russia and the West since the Cold War. So far, it ain't looking good. And a sign that American officials were getting ready for a worst case scenario, the United States announced plans to evacuate its embassy in the Ukrainian capital, and Britain joined other European nations in urging citizens to get out to leave the Ukraine. So now, if it's not real, let me blow this up a little bit. I don't know if y'all can see it. If it's not real, they're over at the UK, other European nations, the US saying, get the hell out of there because it's about to go down. Let's look at this. See, the U.S. picked up intelligence that Russia is looking at Wednesday as a target date, according to a U.S. official familiar with the findings. The official, who was not authorized to speak publicly and did so only on condition of anonymity, would not say how definitive the intelligence was. See, this is why you got to be careful. This is why you got to be careful. Because who knows if this is disinformation, if this is something, because now you got everybody running out there. Wednesday's going down. Wednesday's going down. Now, if I went out on the limb and said that, I'm going to be looked at as a false prophet. I'm going to be looked at as a disinfo agent or something. But see, I'm aware. I see what's going on. See, now you got an anonymous U.S. source says the official who was not authorized to speak publicly. So he's not even in a position of power to where he can speak publicly on the matter. This is just somebody that, he's an official who said, I got inside information. Let me leak this out. And he said he can't say how definitive the intelligence was. So if war don't go down on Wednesday, don't be surprised. If it does, don't be surprised. You understand? Look, historically, this same type of thing. First Kings. Historically, this happens. Ironically. Now, if y'all not familiar with this, First Kings 22. This is Ahab, Jehoshaphat, the king of the southern kingdom was Jehoshaphat. Ahab is the king of the northern kingdom, right? And they've had peace with Syria for 3 years. But Syria had been inhabiting Ramoth Gilead, which belonged to the northern kingdom. So let's read a little bit of this and we'll get the history real quick. So it says, and they continued 3 years without war between Syria and Israel. Okay. And it came to pass in the third year that Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, came down to the king of Israel. And the king of Israel said unto his servants, know ye that Ramoth Gilead is ours, and we be still, and take it not out of the hand of king of Syria. Now, listen, and put it in today's terms. Russia is saying that the Ukraine isn't that part of our territory. Wasn't that ours? But the Ukraine has already kind of been occupying over there. They separated, I think, in the 90s and occupying as an independent nation and whatnot. And now they're saying we're going to link up with NATO. So here we're seeing Ahab and the king of Israel saying, we want our land back. But we've been at war, we've been at peace with Syria for 3 years. How am I going to get our land back? We need to get them up out of here. So now he's counseling with Jehoshaphat. So now the northern and the southern kingdom are counseling and talking together. And he said unto Jehoshaphat, wilt thou go with me to battle to Ramoth Gilead? And Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, I am as thou art, my people as thy people, my horses as thy horses. This is a key scripture too, because it lets you know that there's no difference between the northern and the southern kingdom. We're both the same. Regardless of what, the Negro onlys are saying, regardless of what the 10 tribe only is saying, regardless of the physical features that people, be tripping about. We see here, Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, he said, man, your people is like my people is like your people, man, we the same. Let alone, I think in 2 Kings, I want to say the 8th chapter, it shows you that there was an intermarrying between Jehoshaphat and I believe it was uh, Jehoshaphat and I believe Ahab's daughter. So that lets you know that the northern and southern kingdom intermarried as well. See, that's a whole nother that's a whole nother lesson. But nonetheless, all right. So Jehoshaphat vowed and said, listen, man, we're all Israel. You northern kingdom, I'm southern kingdom, whatever. I'm with you. Now Jehoshaphat, reading verse 5, it says, Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, inquire, I pray thee, at the word of the Lord today. So Jehoshaphat, he told Ahab, he said, listen, before we do anything, we need to go holler at one of the prophets of the Lord. We need the Most High to go before us. So him upstandingly upholding the ways of Israel and following after the ways of the prophets and prophecy, letting the Most High go before us in war, he told Ahab, we need to talk to the prophet first. Verse 6, then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, about 400 men, and said unto them, shall I go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, go up, for the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. Now, mind you, Ahab had 400 wicked, fake prophets and priests that was telling them whatever he wanted to hear. They were not ordained. They were not sanctified by the Spirit of the Lord. These was yes men. Okay. Now, verse 7, this is how you know it. And Jehoshaphat said, is there not here a prophet of the Lord? See, these was prophets. They was prophesying to Baal and all this other madness. So Jehoshaphat said, man, who are these cats? Hey, man, Ahab, do you not have a prophet of the Most High here that we can ask him? The hell with these 400 cats, man, that's out here kissing your ass. Where's the prophet of the Lord at? And Ahab was like, hold on. You want a prophet of the Lord? Okay, all right. So verse 8. And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, there is yet one man, Micaiah, the son of Imlah, by whom I may inquire of the Most High. But I hate him, for he doth not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said, let not the king say so. Well, of course, Micaiah is a man of the Lord. And Ahab was wicked. So every time that he tried to, inquire of Micaiah told him the truth. And that's why that's why Ahab was like, man, the hell with Micaiah. I get 400 prophets of my own, of Baal and all of that. That's going to tell me everything I want to hear. So Micaiah went and told him, we'll just go down. Um, Micaiah told him, "Listen, go ahead up. The Most High is with you. You're gonna prosper. You're gonna, you got it." And Ahab was like, "Man, you always got bad news for me, Micaiah. Now all of a sudden you telling me the Most High is gonna be with me? I don't believe you." Y'all should read this whole chapter. I'm gonna just skim through it just to get through it. All right. So he questioned Micaiah, and he said, "Man, Micaiah, you full of it." And Micaiah said, "As the Lord liveth, what the Most High saith unto me, that will I speak." So we came to the king, and the king said unto him, "Micaiah, shall we go against Ramoth Gilead the battle, or shall we forbear?" And he answered him, "Go and prosper, for the Most High shall deliver it into the hand of the king." Verse 16, and the king said unto him, "How many times shall I adjure thee that thou tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of the Most High?" See, that's when he didn't believe him. Now, this is the part where I want to get down to. Okay. Verse 18, it says, "And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, Did I not tell thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me, but evil?" Verse 19, and he said, "Hear thou therefore the word of the Most High. I saw the Most High sitting on a throne, and all of the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left side, on his left and on his left." Shalaki. So Micaiah is acknowledging that the vision and the understanding that he got from the Most High. He's seen the host of heaven and the Most High having a council. He had his angels on the right, angels on the left. Verse 20. And the Most High said, "Who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead?" Now, this is why the Most High intervenes on matters of war. So the Most High said, "Well, who's going to go over here and persuade Ahab?" Because now Ahab is saying, "Man, Micaiah is lying. I'm not going to go up there to go to war. I'm going to get put to death." And the Lord said, "Who's going to persuade Ahab that he may go up to Ramoth Gilead?" And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. And there came forth the Spirit and stood before the Most High and said, "I will persuade him." Verse 22, and the Most High said unto him, "Wherewith?" And he said, "I will go forth and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets." And he said, "Thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so." So that lying spirit came upon all of his prophets as they told him, "Yeah, go ahead. You're gonna go, you're gonna prosper, you're gonna win, and everything's good." Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all thy prophets, and the Most High have spoken evil concerning thee. So this is how we see how the Most High intervenes when it comes down to matters of war, right? So here we're seeing, let me get back over here. So now we're seeing that there's possible deception that's going on in here. Who and how do we know that this is true? But it's possible. I mean, we're looking at everything stacking up, right? Let me scroll down. See here. However, U.S. officials said anew that Russia's buildup of firepower near the Ukraine has reached the point to where it could invade on short notice. Biden has said that the U.S. military will not enter war with Ukraine. So Biden is simply saying, U.S. is not getting involved. We're not going to war. Then why are you sending 8,000 troops, 3,000 troops? See, that's what I'm saying. America's going to try to play the background and let the smaller nations go out there and get slaughtered, and then they got to step up to the plate. And they figure we can play with, Russia's pockets and maybe back them down. So he's saying that there's that he's not going to be entering into military warfare, right? But he's promised severe economic sanctions against Moscow in concert with international allies. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said he told the Russian counterpart Saturday that further Russian aggression will be met with resolute, massive, and united transatlantic response. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov described the talk about Russian aggression as a Western propaganda campaign and pursues provocative goals. So the Russians, they saying, man, all they doing is utilizing propaganda. They're trying to provoke us to war. Sound familiar? Who's going to persuade? Who's going to persuade him to go to war? Now they're saying they're getting pursues provocative goals. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky tried to project calm as he observed military exercises Saturday near Crimea, the peninsula that Russia annexed from Ukraine in 2014. We're not afraid. We're without panic. All is under control. So they're trying to calm everybody down, saying it's okay. We got this. Really? UK troops that have been training in the Ukrainian army also plan to leave the country. Germany, the Netherlands, and Italy called on their citizens to leave as soon as possible. Look, they're getting the hell up out of there. And what else? Trying to see. This is what the Russians say about America. The hysteria of the White House is more indicative than ever, said Maria Zakharov, a Russian foreign ministry spokeswoman. The Anglo-Saxons need a war at any cost. Provocations, misinformation, and threats are a favorite method of solving their own problems. So there's a lot of war games going on, man. There's a lot of doublespeak going on. There's a lot of madness happening right now. A lot of madness going on. So let's go back here. Let's go back here. All right. And you see here, it says Ukraine's president demands to see U.S. evidence that Russia will invade on Wednesday. So now the Ukraine is sitting back. Now they're double guessing what the U.S. is saying. They're saying, hold on. We need to see that same proof that they're coming in on Wednesday. Remember, that came from an anonymous official who couldn't speak publicly and couldn't, guarantee that the directives was legitimate. So the Ukraine now is looking at the U.S. saying, "What? Can we trust you? We need proof." So the Ukraine president demands to see the evidence that Russia will invade on Wednesday. Because this is all part of U.S. interest. U.S. controls every damn thing, man. If you don't think that America is Babylon, central command for the beast, you got to need your head examined. America calls all the shots worldwide. So now the U.S. is in here puppeteering and manipulating the situation, and now the Ukrainian president is like, "Hold on, I need to find out if this is real or not. Can you show us proof at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses? Can you get that for me?" So Ukraine president demands to see the U.S. evidence that that Russia will invade on Wednesday, as Moscow accuses the West of propaganda campaign. Biden spoke to Putin for an hour as Americans are told to leave now and the final U.S. troops in the country evacuate. So how did that conversation go? You're talking about a discussion regarding the possibilities of World War III, and it was an hour-long conversation. You would think these guys would be on the phone 24/7 over it should be a whole weekend conference and council. That means that if it was that short, it didn't go too well. So they talked for an hour, and at the end of that conversation, Americans were told, "Get out, get out, everybody out." Okay. An intelligence report warned that Russian President Vladimir Putin wants to invade Ukraine on Wednesday. U.S. Embassy in Kiev will suspend all consular services starting on Sunday as the diplomatic staff evacuate. Polish and U.S. officials are scouting sites for fortified border control points along the frontier with the Ukraine. Russian diplomat Sergei Lavrov accused the U.S. of waging a propaganda campaign on call with Anthony Blinken. Biden and Putin spoke for a little over an hour in a high-stakes telephone call on Saturday as tensions mount. It comes as Putin launched military drills in Belarus on Saturday alongside a major sea drill in the Black Sea. And Moscow accused a U.S. Navy submarine of violating Russian waters in the Pacific. Growing lists of countries urge U.S. citizens to leave the Ukraine, including Germany, the Netherlands, Spain, and Belgium. So you tell me, what's going on. Keith, you said Slow Biden might have fell asleep on the phone. Don't be surprised. But yeah, man, you see how this goes. You see how this goes. Um, hey, shalom, shalom, Mary. Shalom to you out there in Nigeria. Um, yeah. So we see what's going on. They told all the other nations get the hell up out of there, right? Um, let me see what you say, Uzio. War stimulation. Let me jump back over here and tell you. But yeah, that's exactly right. That's why they said they need a war. America is in such bad shape, with the inflation, with the crashing of the economy, with them wanting to build back better and get this great reset going, so that they can establish a new world currency and everything else. It's all got to be on the pretenses of an event happening. They're already involved with the cyber warfare. They're already involved with the chemical warfare. They're already involved with the next thing is you got to go to physical war. That's right. That's a perfect example. War stimulates the economy. It makes you spend money on things you don't need. It changes leadership and the rules. It shakes the valuables from those that hoard and refuse to spend. And that's exactly how they plan on trying to get up out of this inflation situation too. Because when the Fed raises up the interest rates, it's going to shut down people trying to get loans. It's going to shut down people trying to do any unnecessary spending. It's going to make people hold on to that money so that way the dollar isn't as invaluable as before. Okay, let me get back over here. So it will have to increase the dollar's value because people will not spend it as much. So when you raise up the interest rates, that's what ends up happening. But that's a whole nother thing. But let's get back. All right. So another example of how we see that America runs the show. Everybody has seen by now that big old freedom convoy going on up there out in Canada. All the truckers and all the city workers and all of that been blocking the highways, blocking the bridges, blocking all this with their trucks, demanding freedom from the jab mandates and all of that, the oppression that's been set upon them by the I don't know if he's a prime minister or if he's a president. I think he's a prime minister. Yeah, yeah, prime minister Justin Trudeau, right? So they staged a major rebellion up there, right? And it's been going on for almost a week. And so Biden said, "Look, this may affect the Super Bowl. Not him literally, but that was a concern because Detroit borders with Canada, and the impact that it has of goods and services having to get over here. Look, before see, Slow Biden didn't say it, but somebody said it. Hold on. This is what they worried about. So the U.S. Freedom Convoy could disrupt Sunday's Super Bowl. See, they worried about the goddamn Super Bowl. They ain't worried about these truckers and all that, man. They had uh, a GoFundMe that got millions of dollars donations, man, to help support them truckers and all that, right? Man, Canada locked that down. They said, man, you ain't getting this money. They didn't. Esau is wild. Uh, so look, the U.S. Freedom Convoy could disrupt the Sunday Super Bowl. They're worried about the Super Bowl, right? And as soon as that came to life, all of a sudden, Slow Biden jumps off and says this. He told um, Trudeau to start using federal power. Don't interrupt our Super Bowl. They said that these past ratings with the football games have been high as ever. They talking about gambling. Gambling is the biggest it's been in who knows how long. Over 30 million. Look at this. 31 million Americans expected to bet on the Super Bowl. And that just shows you too, man, the desperation of where we're at in the economy. Because not everybody's looking for a quick, get rich quick scheme. Everybody's trying to find a little salvation, willing to bet they last. Degenerates. Because of the inflation, because of everything going up, man, the scarcity of goods and services and whatnot, jobs, people losing their jobs over the jab. People saying, you know what, I'm willing to gamble my last, $5,000, man, on the Rams. I could double my money. This is why what's the name is saying, we not doing this. Trudeau, you about to mess up the big game. America's pastime. Use federal power, man, and stop this shit. Shalakia. But that's what he's saying. Look, Ontario declared state of emergency. Freedom Convoy drivers can now be fined $100,000, jail for a year, have their truck seized, and license revoked after Biden, Bear Shells Biden, slow Biden, urged Trudeau to get even tougher. You tell me America don't run every damn thing. And guess what? They did it. Biden said, hey, you about to mess stuff up over here, man. We're not having that. Crack down on them. And these is all private, you got them truckers, man, that got their own trucks and all of that. They not necessarily, some of them working for companies, some of them got their own trucks and privately contracting. They said they're gonna get fined $100,000 if they don't break free from that convoy and go back home. Locked up for a year if you don't break that convoy and take your ass home. Have their truck seized and your license revoked if you don't get the hell out that truck and go home. Let alone they already are facing jab mandates to work. So now you tell them go home. We're gonna seize your truck, seize your license, and you're not gonna be able to get another job because you still refusing the jab. In other words, man, they talking about ruining all of them people's lives. They were saying that whatever they got going on up there in Canada, man, it's mostly y'all Esau out there doing all of that. But that's still beautiful because I love seeing Esau casting out themselves. Enough of them, beating us upside the head, man. Let them catch a little help from their own damn oppressive ways. It worked for me. So they out there catching it, right? So look at this. Conservative Ontario Premier Doug Ford on Friday declared a state of emergency, threatening fines and jail. White House is urging Justin Trudeau's government to use its federal powers to end the Freedom Convoy. Biden's cabinet secretaries Alejandro Mayorkas and Pete Buttigieg. I hate that name, but it's so funny. That's the damn sodomite who might be running for president. All right. Spoke with Canadian counterparts. Canadian trucker protesting since mid-January against Prime Minister Justin Trudeau vid jab mandates. International route drivers must be double jabbed, and 85% are. But the demonstrators oppose the rule. Since Monday, at least 3 U.S.-Canadian border bridges have been blocked in Ontario, Alberta, and Manitoba. Ontario's Ambassador Bridge between Detroit and Windsor in North America's busiest international crossing. See that? The Ambassador Bridge is what Slow Biden and them is concerned about because they're worried about the damn Super Bowl. They're worried about commerce and all of that, and they trying to say, "Oh, this is why inflation. This is why the supplies is down because of it." They ain't been doing this but for about 2 weeks, and I think they really got the convoy was less than a week. Them shelves been bare for the last year. Inflation's been hitting since last summer. But that's how they lie and they sit back and say, "Oh, it's because of these truckers, man. Blame them. It's because of the unjab. Blame them." Meanwhile, they puppeteering the whole damn thing, man. Shalom, Yashar. What's good, my brother? Um, Ontario Premier Doug Ford asked courts to freeze donations to truckers on a crowdfunding site Give Send Go. Yeah, see, Doug Ford. They had got I want to say, man, it was at $6 or $8 million. Yeah, millions. Look, 10 million. GoFundMe freezes Canadian Freedom Convoy page after it raises $10 million. That lets you know, man, the government, you can have a GoFundMe, man. The government trying to slide in and says that money's no good. Shut that down. All your donations that you gave and you try to help for a particular cause, if Esau wants it, man, Esau's going to take it. Straight up. This is straight madness, man. But that's why we look at it and see how Esau does it to himself. You know damn well Jake ain't got a chance in hell when it comes down to trying to put up a fight. And look, he'll take the money, he'll do whatever. So let's go. Let's finish this out. Trudeau had said he spoke to officials accused drivers of hurting jobs, businesses, and our country's economy. All right. And mind you, that's all dead. They put down a lockdown or a a mandate last night at 7 o'clock their time and said they better get out. Guess what? They all submitted. Let's look at that real quick. Uh, cause see, they got another one that's happening over in France. They trying to get down. And they trying to stop it over there. Uh, let me see. I just seen a story earlier. Yeah, this just came out a couple hours ago. Well, not a couple hours ago. It's 10:38. Canadian police moved to disband a trucker convoy at the Ambassador Bridge. Canadian police have begun to disband a trucker convoy at the Ambassador Bridge that connects Windsor, Ontario to Detroit, acting on a judge's order to open the trade route. Windsor police announced Saturday morning that they are commencing enforcement of the judge's Friday ruling that came to the bridge around 8:45 a.m. and many vehicles left when directed to do so, according to ABC News. About 3 large trucks remained, and the protesters who stayed were singing "Oh Canada," the country's national anthem, as of 9:30 a.m. So you see what happens, man. When Esau lays the smack down, man, they getting up out of there. So it was fun while it lasted. They went out there and they did what they could. But when the funds get froze and fines is introduced, jail time, all of that revolutionary stuff, man, eventually goes away. So they tried, but it didn't last too. It didn't last. Hold on, let me block this damn bot. All right, let me get back over here. Okay, so look at this, man. Been on for a little hour and we ain't covered but about 3 slides. Let's go. We got to go here. And I got to be careful because them bots is listening and watching and they waiting for me to say something out of pocket. But I'm gonna be careful. Now, what good is this, mandatory boosters that they've been telling people at their jobs? What good is it that you telling people you're not fully poked unless you get the booster? And it's only good for 4 months. 4 divided by 12 is what, 3? That means you're gonna need 3 boosters to be good for a whole year of protection. The games don't stop, man. The vid booster effectiveness wanes after 4 months, but still provides protection against hospitalization. The CDC study shows. They always say that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We might poke you up, man. It's gonna wane after about 4 months, but it keep you out the hospital. As we keep reading and seeing people that are double jab, triple jab, boosted in the whole nine, dying and going to the hospital and having all kind of madness with side effects. But clearly, we see On record, the CDC says it, not me. The CDC says the boosters is dead after 4 months. So you're gonna need 3 for the year for all the paranoid skeptics, man. That's caught in that cycle. That you're not safe until you get all of them, and you got to stay on course. Oh, okay. Why? Let me stay focused. Okay, look. An early look at the performance of the booster shots during the recent Okra wave in the U.S. showed a decline in effectiveness against severe cases, though the shots still offered strong protection. The report published by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on Friday is considered an early and limited look at the durability of the booster protection during the okra surge that exploded in December and January, but has been fading in recent weeks. The researchers looked at patient visits to hospitals and urgent care centers in 10 states to estimate how well the booster prevented vid-related visits to emergency departments and urgent care centers and how well the jabs prevented hospitalizations. Isn't that nice? Get out of here. Look at this. And watch where we go with this one. So, under pressure, slow Biden is weighing the new virus response. So, remember, now you're starting to hear about, oh, the masks are coming off in New York, the masks is coming off in, California and everywhere. And people are thinking, it's a victory. We won. Yes. Finally. That nigga that was on that don't shoot the messenger talking about it's not going to end. He was wrong. Was I? Okay. We shall see. Facing a growing pressure to ease up on pandemic restrictions, the White House insisted Wednesday it is making plans for a less disruptive phase of the national virus response. But impatient states, including Democratic New York, made clear they aren't waiting for Washington for public frustration as public frustration grows. So people are getting upset. Governor Kathy Hochul, Hochul, remember her with her vax chain and all of that? All of a sudden now she's switching up. Is that ironic or is it planned or what? Let's see. Announced that New York will end its vid mandate requiring face coverings in most public settings, but it will keep it for schools. Illinois announced the same. Earlier this week, New Jersey, Connecticut, Delaware all disclosed plans to join states that have lifted or never had mask requirements for all their schools, and Massachusetts will follow suit at the end of the month. But all Massachusetts have governors who are Democrats like Slow Biden. So Slow Biden is, talking about we got to create a new normal. We got to, get things back in order. We're not going to, we're going to ease up on the mask mandates. Now, Slaki, mind you, the mask mandates is still in effect. They're telling the jabbed that you don't have to wear your mask indoors anymore because you've been poked. Unjabbed, oh, you still got to wear the masks. And remember, they did that in Australia. They told them you could take the mask off and people were still wearing them anyway. Remember that? Learn helplessness. People still going to feel protected. They're still going to feel because they're so attached to them now. You done spent your money on these little designer masks and these little goofy masks with all the little cartoon character, character, what do they call them? Characterers? Whatever else going on. Your favorite sports team. You ain't getting rid of that. The insecure people, man, who's like, you know what, man, I don't like, being out in the public. I love wearing my mask. I love being able to throw my hood on my mask and be out there in public. Make me feel like I'm a superhero, I'm Batman. And, people are really infatuated with that. So even if the mask, if they say take them off, you're fine. Guaranteed, people are still going to walk around with them. And the fact of the matter is that they're still talking to the jabbed because those are the people who's really upset. Those are the people, I mean, let alone those of us who, haven't submitted to the oppression of the Pope, tired of wearing the mask. But the people who were compliant and saying, man, I done got double and triple poked and you still telling me wear a mask? This is BS. They're saying, okay, fine, you can take it off now. Oh, but you want you Ones over there who didn't roll up, then throw that mask on in the public. Okay. But look, under pressure, slow Biden is easing up, right? But remember this? I said it in the last DSTM. I said I was trying to find that article. I found it where slow Biden said he's going to go out for more public outreach. He wants to make the people feel good again and less legislating. So in his second year, this is his plan. More public outreach, less legislating. Okay. President Slow Biden launched into his second year in office Thursday with a new focus on making fatigued Americans believe they're better off under his leadership as he embraces a pared back agenda before the midterm elections. Did you hear that? It's politics, y'all. This is why they're allowing the mask to come off and telling people come out, be liberated again. This is why they're trying to talk about, oh, we got to stimulate the economy. Oh, we've got, your child tax credits is coming. We're giving you some more money. Everything's good. You need more stimulus. We're working on that, but we can't get the budget approved. We got the crack pipes. You know where this is going. So that's what is going on. Midterm elections is going on. What's the midterm elections about? Let's see. Let's see. Midterm elections 2022. We'll just look at it. Oh, what the heck? Okay. Damn thing was tripping. All right, look. The 2022 United States elections will be held Tuesday, November 8th, 2022. During this midterm election, all 435 seats in the House of Representatives and 34 of the 100 seats in the Senate will be contested. So this is where it becomes a shifting of power. Right now, the Democrats are running the House. Right now, the Democrats are running the House. 39 state and territorial, gubernatorial, and numerous other state and local elections will also be contested. This will be the first election affected by the redistricting that will follow the 2020 census. So, this is all about who can control the House, who can control the ability to dictate policy and whatnot, man. The Republicans is creeping back in. Everybody's looking at slow Biden like, man, this dude is a straight boob. He's a liar. He's a fear monger. The whole nine. Everybody's looking at him like he's a straight buffoon. So now, after all this has been going on, all this madness has been happening, all the lies, everything else that he's been going through, now he's got to switch up tune to say, well, we got to save the House. Midterm elections is coming up in November. I got to make sure that, I still got the backing of my Democrat colleagues. So now he wants to do more public outreach. Now he wants to go signing into order these goofy plans with $30 million going to drug-free sites and giving out free crack pipes and all of that. But that's kind of changed. We'll get to that in a little bit. So this is really what it's about. Soothing the people so that he can try to gain favor. So when it's time to come around with these midterm elections, because it's pretty much like, okay, we're halfway through your 4 years, slow Biden. What have you done? Let's look at your track record. Let's see what's going on in the House. Do we need to start making adjustments? Are people going to start voting these Democrats up out of there? And now it's a problem. So this is what it's really about. It ain't because he loves everybody. That's why I said it's temporal. These so-called new little, take the mask off, everything's fine. No. It's just game so that once these elections is over with, hell is back on. The persistence of the vid, rising inflation, and congressional gridlock have exacted a bitter toll on slow Biden's approval rating and threatened a midterm routing for his party, but the president sees no need for a major shift in direction. Instead, Biden told Democratic National Committee members during a virtual grassroots event Thursday that Democrats broadly have to offer a clearer contrast with Republicans going forward. He said that the contrast he hopes to paint is between Democrats' agenda and the lack thereof from the Republican Party, which he said has, quote, completely controlled by one man that's focused on relegating the past. A veiled reference to the former president Donald Trump as he continued false claims that he won the 2020 election. See, that's his only that's his only ammo. Is constantly going back trying to, have people jog their memories about Trump. I mean, that was 2 years ago, damn near. He's done. But the only thing he can do is still use him as a stepping stone to try to stand up on and exalt himself. But that ain't gonna work. So don't fall for the oak dope. It's all game. That's all that he's out here doing. Okay. Ecclesiastes 13:6. If he have needed thee, he will deceive thee and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? This is what he's done. This is what he's doing right now. He wants public outreach. He wants to talk to the people. He wants to be. I hear the moaning and the groaning of the people. You guys are tired of the mask. You're tired of the I get it. Okay, take them off. Fine. That ain't what it's about. Look, now he got him on board. Frankenstein Fauci. U.S. is heading out of, quote, full-blown pandemic phase. So now he's on board. Oh, we're moving out of full-blown pandemic phase, y'all. Everything's okay. Third letter 19, pandemic restrictions could, quote, end soon. Sounds promising, doesn't it? Even as early as this year, NIAID Director Anthony Fauci told the Financial Times in an interview published Tuesday. The big picture, Fauci explained that he does not believe we're going to eradicate this virus. Of course not. But he said that it will instead reach an equilibrium. Really? See, this is how we know they run a game. He said, you're not going to defeat the virus. Researchers. How about this? UK health officials on alert for the Deltacron hybrid of two vid variants. We talked about Deltacron before, right? But see, they kind of brushed that over because the okra was doing so well. So well. So now let's go ahead and tell them, okay, we're getting over the okra. You guys can get back to normal. We're just going to live with the virus. But now they're already laying out headlines that there's an alert going on for the okra. So the boogeyman exists. It's still there. Don't think that this won't be utilized as a tool to say, Deltacron is out of control. We're going to have to, impose those restrictions again. So let's finish this up. I hope we're looking at the same at a time when we've had enough people jabbed and enough people with protection from previous infection that the vid restrictions will soon be a thing of the past. Fauci added that he hoped the restrictions would end, quote, soon, agreeing that a suggestion that they could be largely ended this year. State of play, Fauci also said that the U.S. is, quote, certainly heading out of a particularly difficult phase of pandemic driven largely by okra, the Omarion. Local health departments will be the ones to make virus-related decisions instead of the Biden administration. So now they're saying, if anything stays intact, don't blame us. Don't blame the government. It's your local officials that's doing it. Okay. Uh-oh. This ain't me saying this, YouTube. I'm reading this. Researchers warn some third letter 19 jabs could increase risk of HIV infection. Really? So you telling me that these jabs could increase somebody's risk of getting the HIV? Oh boy. Top line: some of the COVID-19 jabs currently in development could increase the risk of acquiring HIV, warned a group of researchers in the Lancet Medical Journal Monday, potentially leading to an increase in infections as jabs are rolled out to vulnerable populations around the world. The researchers warn of a quote cautionary tale from efforts to create a HIV vaccine over a decade ago, where a promising vaccine candidate actually increased the risk of some men catching the virus. The jab mandate use of a modified virus called the adenovirus 5 as a vector to transport some of the HIV's genetic material into the body. So, in other words, they're saying that they were using this adenovirus as a delivery system to attack the HIV in the body, but it potentially could open one up to getting HIV as opposed to fighting it because you're using a similar virus as HIV. You understand? Same thing that they say, well, I'm going to give you the flu shot to get rid of the flu to help your immune system build up. You mess around and that virus could mutate, turn into actual HIV and get consumed. Exactly how the jab increased the risk of HIV transmission is unknown, but a conference convened by the National Institute of Health recommended against further use of the AD5 as a vector in HIV vaccines. Dr. Anthony Fraudchi was lead author of the paper outlining this position. Look what else he's been involved in. Look what else he's been involved in. HIV jabs, huh? And in fairness, I'm going to read this as well as part of the article. Lots of jabs make use of modified viruses to transport material into the human body. Many make many make use of a modified adenovirus to do this, a virus which is usually harmless except the ability to cause the common cold. Some of the leading candidates for the vid jab include those from Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, use adenoviruses as vectors. There is no evidence that these vectors increase the risk of HIV. Disclaimer. So can we explain? Can somebody explain this then? Can somebody explain this? Highly virulent HIV variant found circulating in Europe out of nowhere. That all of a sudden now there's been a mutated form of HIV that spreads faster and easier and deadly uh, out of nowhere. And the only thing we can kind of correlate is something was mandated for people to get, and it has a possible risk of causing this. I'm being careful not to say anything, but y'all know where I'm talking. You know where I'm going with this. Highly transmissible and damaging variant of HIV has been circulating in the Netherlands for decades. Researchers have found an analysis of more than 100 infected people suggests that the variant boosts the number of viral particles in a person's blood, making them more likely to transmit the virus. The variant also seems to lead to a reduction in immune cells called CD4 T cells, so infected people are at risk of developing AIDS much more rapidly than those with other versions of HIV. The emergence of a more virulent form of HIV is, quote, a reason to stay vigilant, but it's not a public health crisis. The mutations found in the new variant don't make it resistant to existing HIV drugs, says Joel Worthing, an evolutionary biologist and molecular epidemiologist at the University of California, San Diego. All of the tools in our arsenal still should work, he says. I found that interesting. These the correlations. Okay. Matthew 7:16. All I can say is what Yahweh Shah said. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Of course not. That's unfruitful. But when you identify the fruits, oh, you're saying that this could happen, and then this happens, and then we look at the fruits of corruption, we see the fruits of lies, we see the fruits of disinformation, we see all of this madness. Do we not put them all together and say, this is possible? It's possible. Rashaf Khan, the rich get richer. The rich get richer. Yup. Yeah, Khan, UCL. Sterilization, all of that, all of the above. Hey, David Ben Israel Shalom, my brother. Good to see you, man. Shabbat Shalom, family. Um, yeah, Pfizer, Pfizer profits netted $1 million a day, $1,000 per second, $65,000 per minute. Man, the rich only get richer. They said, man, during this pandemic, man, all of the elite 1% all made billions off of the situation. While people were losing their jobs, people were losing their companies, businesses, uh, hospital insurances, all of that. Manath, I'm glad you wiped your feet, my sister. Appreciate you. All praises. Better late than never. You can catch up later on what you missed. It's all good. All right. So let's move on. Look at this. You know, you should know them by their fruits. EU medical watchdog probes the link between Pfizer and Moderna's vid jabs and irregular periods after thousands, not hundreds, not tens, thousands of women report menstrual changes after the jab. Uh, did you say something about sterilization? UZL? Oh, okay. Are we talking population control? Oh, okay. The European Medicines Agency Drug Safety Committee is investigating both cases of heavy bleeding and missed periods following the jab. Imagine that. So we've got irregular menstrual cycles, heavy blood flows, menstrual cycles. We've got heart attacks and strokes. We've got a potential of HIV infections. I mean, need I go on? And look at this guy. Look at this damn demon, man. Look at this damn uh, serpent right here. Bill Gates. Good old Bill. Let me take this off. Okay. Bill Gates is warning of a smallpox terror attack as he seeks research funds. Give me more money. I'm warning you. See how that works? Give me more money or else. You just seen the was it Man of Monday? With the that I covered about the truck with the monkeys that fell over. One Edomite, she got hit up. The smallpox lab that got that came up with smallpox missing in Philly. Remember that? Now all of a sudden he's popping his head out. You might get smallpox terror. I'm seeking out funding. Give me money. Bill Gates is warning governments should prepare for smallpox terror attacks. Prepare for it. How many times has he said that? And things have gone and happened. And future pandemics by investing billions into research and development. Mr. Gates made the comments in a policy exchange interview with the chair of the Health Select Committee, Jeremy Hunt. He said that countries like the U.S. and the U.K. must spend tens of billions to fund the research, adding that while it may be expensive, it could lead to the eradication of the flu and the common cold. Really? Why not the eradication of smallpox? I thought that was the topic of concern. See, more money, more money, more money. Here's more corruption from the U.S., man. Y'all remember President of Haiti when he got assassinated, killed in his bed, wife got shot. You know, they had some Haitian cast, man, some Colombian cast. It was a big old thing, a hit job. Now look at this. Haiti's prime minister was involved in a plot to assassinate the president and is protecting fugitives suspected of organizing a hit squad, investigators claim. Now, this is a quote unquote claim, but the new prime minister is being accused of being involved in this plot of assassinating the former prime minister of Haiti. And why is this important? Because guess who supports this brother? You guessed it. Slow Biden in America. So he's untouchable. And if you know how America works, when they put in their little colonized presidents and their puppets, they're there for agenda reasons only. So here he goes, man. This coon right here, man. This brother. Haitian President Jovenel Moise was shot and killed in his home on July 7, 2021. 2 weeks later, Prime Minister Ariel Henry was sworn in as president. Henry himself had only been named prime minister on July 5th by Moise. Suspicions have surrounded Henry ever since the president was assassinated. Now, two investigators say he is involved in the plot and is protecting the man who is suspected of organizing the hit squad that carried out the killing. Let's see here. According to the sources, 3 undercover officers were parked outside Henry's official residence in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, having been tipped off that Badio, a former anti-corruption official who was on the run, would be meeting him there. The detective planned to arrest Badio as he left the house, and at a later date, arrest Henry as well, using the media as proof of their collaboration. But Badio never arrived. The sources told CNN they believed either he or Henry was tipped off, thwarting the opportunity for investigators to bust the meeting. So this cat is involved, and believe you me, um, let me see if they got a published article. But I read something that said that he was in good standings with America. Let's see if I can find that. Um, no, that's not it. I think I might have seen it on a video from ABC or something like that, but I'll have to find it another time. But the U.S. is backing this cat, man. The U.S. is with him. That's why he's able to go about his business like he does. So don't be surprised, man, if Haiti starts doing some madness, all in the name of America, and America starts going over there colonizing and really taking control of Haiti even more. All right, but let's move on. Oil jumps amid escalating tensions between Russia and Ukraine. They said oil right now is like $96 a barrel. So expect gas to continue go up. Power prices are going to go up in Europe as if it's not already high enough right now. Oil prices jumped in the afternoon trading Friday amid escalating tensions between Ukraine, and Russia. With about 2 hours left to the trading day, U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said at a White House briefing that there were signs of a Russia escalation at the Ukraine border and that it was possible that an invasion could take place during the Olympics, despite speculations to the contrary. We continue to see the signs of Russian escalation. We know all of this, but this is the impacts that it's going to have. Energy prices, gas prices, all of that's going to start going up very, very soon. If everything continues on the path that it's going and escalations continue, that's where we're headed. All right. Now, this is also going to be utilized as a tool. People are going to see that, Phoenix police. Phoenix is like, Texas and these other states where they're liberal with their gun laws. And this right here was a Jake. And Salaki. One thing that's interesting, man, is you start seeing a lot of these crimes of passion, man, going crazy now in the earth. I just seen a 6 story too. See, I don't put everything in these little PowerPoints, man. I be remembering and just keeping stuff. Uh, uh, uh. Look at this madness. This is what happens, man, when Jace ain't following the damn law. See, look at this. 18 Leviticus 18:3. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, ye shall not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, ye shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. So we're seeing what the Canaanites was into, what the Egyptians was into, and we're going to see all of the reasons as to why we don't follow their ways. None of you shall approach to any that is near kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or the daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. This guy, Texas man sleeping with his own sister, kills her after she has sex with another man, prosecutors say. Look at this guy, man. Wicked as all outdoors, man. Wicked as hell. Jose Manuel Guzman allegedly killed his sister with a baseball bat. Now remember, the law said whether she be born at home or born abroad. This cat found out that he only met his sister a couple years ago. He from, I think, Guatemala. They ended up finding out they, was kin or whatnot. She moved in, they got a crib together. This is disgusting, man. Texas man was sleeping with his own sister, beat her to death with a baseball bat after he found out she had sex with another man. Jose Manuel Guzman, 32, allegedly killed his sister in the Canatillo home they shared when he attacked her with a massage instrument and a bat, the El Paso County District Attorney told the El Paso Times. Guzman allegedly snapped after he learned of his sister being with a male friend who visited a night earlier. He then tried to mop up the blood at home and fled as he heard law enforcement approaching. According to the Times, he was later arrested and slapped with a murder charge and is in jail on $1 million bond. See, prosecutors say Guzman is from Guatemala and a legal U.S. resident. Although he is not a U.S. citizen, he's lived in El Paso since he was 3 years old and only recently learned. What the hell just happened? Okay. Only recently learned that he had a sister in Guatemala. They met and allegedly began a sexual relationship, according to authorities. I mean, this family is disgusting, man. This dude's ridiculous. But look, remember the law said, you find out you got a sister, whether she's born in the house or born abroad, doesn't matter. Hands off. And these two damn weirdos, man, had a whole damn relationship going on, and he was so jealous. She slept with his friend, killed her. Unbelievable. See how deep we are with this? There's another thing. I don't know what happened with this situation. I seen a video too, man, of a brother in I don't know if y'all seen this. He went live. He was in Wisconsin, I believe. Something like that. He's going live. He's yelling out the window, telling the police, come get his son. He's not going out. He done already killed 2 people in the building. I think he killed his girl, killed another resident in the spot. Long story short, he claimed he was gonna go out shooting, but he killed himself, and they came and got the baby. Another thing here. Phoenix police said a man shot his ex-girlfriend before an ambush. A man who shot his ex-girlfriend at a Phoenix home early Friday ambushed the first officer on the scene, seriously injuring him, then opened fire on other police as they tried to rescue a baby that was left outside the door. So what ended up happening was there was I guess a relative, and the brother, I guess whoever the cat was, man, that did the shooting, told the relative to put the baby outside and let the police get the baby. So the relative, he put the police, he putting the baby outside and all of that. And as the police come up to get the baby, the brother, starts letting off. Um, I think they said 9 police were injured, and the brother killed himself and his baby mama or whatever. And it's just a mess, man. Israel is completely gone. Um, let's read this. So a man who shot his ex-girlfriend at a Phoenix home early Friday ambushed the first officer on the scene, seriously injuring him, then opened fire on other police as they tried to rescue a baby that was left outside the door. The woman later died. In all, 5 officers were shot, including 4 who were wounded while they were trying to take the baby to safety. 4 more officers were injured by shrapnel or ricocheting bullets, police said. Of the 5 shot, 4 remain hospitalized. All of the officers are expected to survive, and the baby girl was unharmed. A baby is safe today because of our Phoenix police officers. Mayor Kate Gallego said at a news conference near the scene. The most seriously injured officer was the first to arrive at the home at 2:15 a.m. following a report of a woman shot. He was invited inside, Phoenix Police Sergeant Andy Williams said. As he approached the doorway, the suspect ambushed him with a gun and shot him several times. He said the officer was able to get back and get away to safety. So, they Democrats and they're gonna use all this as fodder to say we need to get some gun restrictions going on in these liberal states, Arizona, Alabama, Texas, all of that. When you start seeing stuff like this, man, they say never let a good crisis go to waste. So if they can politicize this and utilize it to snatch some guns, man, they're gonna do that. But you see, man, this is a product of Israel. Uh, I think it's in Deuteronomy, one of the curses. Oops. I mean, clearly we know 50. Was it 28 and 54? But I want to see this one right here. Rope around. First of all, 28 and 28. It says, and the Most High shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. So we're seeing these astonishing things that's happening, astonishment of heart, astonishments of the mind, making our people do things that are completely irrational, completely wrong according to the scriptures, breaking all kind of laws, and then the only thing you can chalk it up to is straight madness and blindness, being without light, without truth, without understanding. When you start seeing that, man, a dude sleeping with his own sister, man, and then having a jealous rage and killing somebody else because he laid with her. Me not supposed to be doing that in the jump. Astonishment of heart, verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday as a blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore. No man shall save thee. Look, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. The main thing we want to look at is thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man lying with her. Adultery, fornicate, that is running rampant. Running rampant. We just seen what happened. I mean, although it was a unlawful bed, but look, another man lied with her. What ended up happening? Dude ended up getting put to death. You always seeing all of these crimes of passion, man, being raised up when it comes down to Israel, man. Video after video, man. Nowadays, these cats is going live regarding it, right? Let me get back over here. Okay. So we're seeing here, man, these curses are coming even more to the forefront and fruition with Israel. We're seeing the madness that's going on within our communities. Look at this. You talking about the get out situation. This is it right here. Exclusive. They've completely shut us out. Family of a black man shot 9 times at a remote hunting cabin near Pittsburgh say investigators are stonewalling them after co-worker admitted to shooting in self-defense. This is Get Out. Brother, not necessarily all the way because he wasn't married to no Edomite, went out there with him. But he befriended and was befriending some Edomites and co-workers, man. They invited him out to an isolated cabin in the mountains of Pittsburgh somewhere, shot and killed this cat, said it was self-defense, and now the police are shutting it down, saying, "Oh, well, the case closed." How come we ain't hearing about this? Where's BLM at? Where's the rest of these, so-called Negro activists at, talking about this? The family of Peter Bernardo Spencer, 29, are still seeking answers 2 months after he was shot dead at a remote cabin party in Pennsylvania. The Jamaican immigrant from Pittsburgh was the only black man invited to the Rockland Township home where he was later shot 9 times. Did you hear that? The only black man invited to the damn place. And he ends up getting shot 9 times. 8 weeks on, his fiancee, Carmela King, told Daily Mail investigators have yet to make any arrest and have left she and his family hanging. I think the expectation was that it would be just another black man murdered and it would be swept under the rug, but that's not the case here, she said. The suspect, who has only been identified as a 25-year-old white man who knew Spencer, admitted to the shooting but claimed self-defense, the family said. King revealed Spencer had been trying to clear a criminal case on gun and drugs before his death and told his friends he saw undercover cops lurking nearby. The same night, the man who later shot him sent an invitation to his family's remote rural property to Spencer via Snapchat. Family's attorney, Paul Jubas, questioned whether Spencer was in a position where he knew too much about something more serious. You see what's going on? We're still being hunted, still being killed, right? Let me get that in Lamentations. Look at it. Lamentation 4:18. They hunt our steps that we cannot go on our streets. Our end is near. Our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Look, that's the pursuit of our enemies, man. That's the pursuit of the so-called white man. Where was he at? He was at a private little hunting lodge out in the boondocks of damn Pittsburgh somewhere. It's like that movie. Well, I don't know if it's like that one, but it was. I remember they had this movie back in the day, man. Ice-T was in it, and it was about some elites, man. The good old boys. They would pay bums to go out into the cabins and whatnot, and they would track them down and kill them. They had a whole little hunting game going on. Who said, okay, surviving the game. You saw it the water. That was it. Same type of thing, man. They can invite this cat out here. Only nigga there. I don't know how he didn't feel uncomfortable. But that's it. That's what happens, man, when you trust in your oppressor. You the only nigga there, man. You should have known something was gonna go down. They bring you all the way out into some remote cabin somewhere. And now they had knowledge that you possibly could have been a witness to something else. Yeah, Conshack, that's right. That's exactly right. That's the real. Yeah, surviving the game. Let me make sure. Let me put that up for brothers and sisters to check out. It's an oldie but goodie. Uh, yeah, I remember Ice-T was in that. Look at that. I mean, that should tell you alone. You look at this. You telling me, man, the cunning hunter, Esau, and here you go with Ice-T right here running. The rules are simple: kill or be killed. Survive in the game. That's right. A homeless man is hired as a survival guide for a group of wealthy businessmen on a hunting trip in the mountains, unaware that they are killers who hunt humans for sport and that he is their new prey. Yeah, that's it. Unbelievable. Okay, let's get back over here. Now, the moment everybody been waiting for. This went wild over the week. Once it got understood, Slow Biden said he's gonna cater to the dope fiends. And why is that? His son Bo strung out on dope. Not Bo, I'm sorry. Hunter Biden is a dope fiend. Uh Baden Baden. Biden admin to fund crack by distribution to advance racial equity. $30 million program will provide quote smoking kits to vulnerable communities. The Biden administration is set to fund the distribution of crack pipes to drug addicts as part of its plan to advance racial equity. The $30 million grant program, which closed applications Monday, will begin in May, will provide funds to nonprofits and local governments to help make drug use safer for addicts. Included in the grant, which is overseen by the Department of Health and Human Services, are funds for smoking kits and supplies. A spokesman for the agency told the Washington Free Beacon that these kits will provide pipes for users to smoke crack cocaine, crystal meth, and any quote illicit substance. HHS said the kits aim to reduce the risk of infection when smoking substances with glass pipes, which can lead to infections through cuts and sores. Applicants for the grants are prioritized if they treat a majority of quote underserved communities, including African Americans and LGBTQ plus persons. Notice they always come into play. As established under President Joe Biden's executive order on advancing racial equity. So this is part of him going out and getting back in the field and making people feel better again. And he figures you niggas love crack, niggas love poor whites love crystal meth and everything else. Let me cater to them. But hold on, let's look at this. He got a soft spot for. He got a soft spot for drug abuse. Look, this is his son. That's his son sparking up right there. That's his son laid up in the bed. Laid up in the bed with the crack pipe, cigarette, and now look at him cleaned up a little bit after Biden gave him a job. His son's a dope fiend. You know what? And I don't know if y'all remember him and Trump was going at it over that, and Trump called him out on it. It was funny when they was arguing about it. Let me see if I can share that real quick.
Son was in Iraq. He spent a year there. He got the Bronze Star. He got the Conspicuous Service Medal. He was not a loser. He was a patriot, and the people left behind there were heroes.
Really?
And I resent.
Are you talking about Hunter? Are you talking about Hunter?
I'm talking about my son, Bo Biden. You're talking about.
I don't know Bo. I know Hunter.
Yeah,
Hunter got thrown out of the military. He was thrown out, dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He wasn't dishonorably.
Cocaine use. And he didn't have a job until you became vice president. Once you became vice president, he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow, and various other places.
True.
He made a fortune.
My son.
And he didn't have a job.
Trump was cutting the hell out of it. My son. I love these sarcasm out themselves, man. Let me finish this up.
My son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked on it.
No, he's overtaking it, not overcome. He's overtaking it. I mean, he's on top of it. Stupid.
And I'm proud of him.
But why was he given tens of millions of dollars?
But he wasn't given tens of millions of dollars. That is totally discredited.
You've already been
totally discredited.
Hey,
My son. So you know, his son is his son is a former dope fiend. Who knows former? You know, he probably still dibbles and dabbles. Who knows? All right, but ironically, you know, we see why he's got a soft spot. But meanwhile, he's trying to flood it into our communities, man, promoting drug use, man. Want to make sure that the public continually stays dumbed down. I've shared an article before which says 70% of Americans are on some sort of prescription drug. That wasn't even talking about the non-prescriptive drugs that people are on. Damn near 95%, 98% of the people is on something. If you include illegal drugs, all right. So if you got a dumbed down, doped up people who are relying upon substances, man, to help motivate them and keep them in line, you've got full control over them. All right. So look at this. So here's an update. So we can stop the memes and we can stop everything else. They took it out the bill. They said we're not going to give the smoking kits no more. We're not going to put the heroin pipes and we're not going to put the crack pipes in there. I mean, who's still smoking crack? I thought crack was out. Everybody's on pills and heroin and everything else now. Right? So they succumbed to the pressure, man. Social media went wild. Everybody was tripping. The memes was coming out crazy. Everybody was on their heads. So now they realize, oops, that was a mistake. We thought niggas still like crack. That's what happens, man, when you got a 46. This cat's been in politics for 46 years. You talking old Jim Crow Joe. Well, in his mind, you know, niggas is still smoking crack. And how can I appeal to them? Let me give them what they like. Let me keep them on that good side. You know, Black, Hispanics, Native Americans, man, we're the backbones of democratic structure, man. We're always the catalyst that they utilize. So in his old ass mind, he's still thinking, man, crack is good. Everybody's on crack now. So when everybody gave him the backlash, like, nigga, we don't smoke crack. What's wrong with you? He said, oh, my bad. Take that out. Take that out. We're not doing that. The niggas don't smoke crack no more, y'all. This is ridiculous. No money for drug pipes. The Fed doused social media firestorm. Dousing the social media firestorm, the Biden administration said Wednesday that a grant program to counter harm from illicit drugs will not pay for safer pipes to smoke crack or meth. The White House was put on the defensive as outrage from a political right, some of it with racial overtones, cresting the outline. Quote, no federal funding will be used directly or through subsequent reimbursement of grantees to put pipes in safe smoking kits, Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra and White House Drug Policy Advisor Rahul Gupta said in a joint statement. All right, so they said, we're not going to be putting crack pipes in there, man. Y'all going to have to continue on using your own. But are they really trying to promote? What are they trying to promote, man? Look, liberal drug group now is criticizing Biden administration for not giving out free crack pipes. So here comes the liberals. They're running up there saying, what do you mean you're not putting the crack pipes in there? We want crack pipes. Now it's going to become a whole little tug of war. They want Jakes out here strung out, man. They want Jakes twisted. They want Jakes completely gone in madness and foolishness so that you can't wake up. Our people can't wake up and get this truth. Wake up to repent. Won't seek the face of the Most High 10 times the more. They want us to be completely divided. They want us to be strung out and dependent upon them because eventually, they're going to be the drug dealers. Just like they just said, instituted and allowed legalized marijuana. They knew that they could capitalize off of that, man. That's brought in billions of dollars for them. Legal drug dealing. What were they doing over there in Afghanistan all these years, man? Protecting the poppy fields so that they can have, the influence of the heroin to come through. Why do they continue on? We see it all the time in movies, in documentaries, where America is well aware of what's going on in Mexico and the drug trade and in Colombia and so forth and so on, and they allow and have certain leadership in there, allowing these cartels to run wild because they know that that's going to continually create more funding for drug programs, more funding for weapons, more funding for look, the Iran Contra situation, Oliver North, remember that? Rick Ross, Fernando Blandon, all of that, Nicaragua, America involved in drug trafficking and CIA. I mean, they're the biggest drug dealers in the world. Of course, they love to have Jakes out here strung out and jacked up. Do you understand? So now they got a liberal group out there saying, "Slow Biden, we want crack. We want crack pipes." Not giving out free crack pipes, and these are all like liberal groups, man. That get motivated and they're getting paid off by these other um racist old Edomites with money, like George Soros and them. I'm not saying George Soros is funding this. I don't have proof of that. But there's always some little, Edomites sitting here funding out these little liberal groups to go out here and stir up the pot and acting as if they're for the cause. What cause? To keep our people strung out on dope? Are you crazy? So now they got a liberal group out here criticizing the Biden administration for not giving out free crack pipes and safe smoking and harm reduction kits that include lip balms, alcohol swabs, fentanyl testing strips. Oh, so they want to make sure your fentanyl is good, because the fentanyl has been killing a whole lot of people. That's strung out there with the opioid addictions and the fentanyl coming in from China and Mexico and everywhere else that's tampered with and killing people. So they're like, oh, you can get a testing strip, make sure your heroin is pure, and go ahead and get high and shoot up with clean syringes. And they've infuriated Republicans. The Drug Policy Alliance said the decision to remove crack pipes from safe smoking equipment is deeply disappointing. I mean, are we in the twilight zone or what? Harm reduction works to meet people where they're at and keep people safe, free of disease and alive, so they have a chance of recovering and healing. The Biden admin may not be handing out free crack pipes, but a $30 million grant program will dole out materials for addicts to utilize when using drugs. And they say, oh, this is safe, man. Better to be safe than for them to be out here in the streets getting it, from some unsafe sources, or for them making crack pipes and doing whatever. And your heroin pipes out of soda cans and reusing needles. Let us at least help you stay addicted. And they're gonna say, "Oh, what? It also is funding for rehab centers and this and that." Yeah, but the main focus is, man, keep them on drugs. We've seen. I've covered the stories where they did the safe drug sites in Rhode Island, New York, I think New Hampshire, Portland, Oregon, Seattle. They got safe sites where you can go chill out, relax under supervision, man. They give you gloves, they give you everything you need, man. Go sit down. Here's a fresh needle. Here's a lighter. Go ahead and light up. Go do what you need to do. Relax and chill. If you OD, we got people on deck, man, that's going to, revive you back to life so that you can get back on your dope again. It's all in place. Look at this. This is why and how America is going to completely collapse and crumble, and this shit is over with. This is why you want it. And I've been sitting back saying, man, damn, why are people not, people out here quitting their jobs and saying the hell with it? Because here they go. They're out here allowing and getting funding from the government in the States. Look at it. I get paid to be homeless in San Francisco. It takes one phone call. Old school junkie says he moved to a woke city because he gets $620 a month that pays for his Amazon Prime and Netflix, and cops are like neighbors. So when you see the tent cities all over the place, man, that shows you the complete collapse of America. The age of decadence is over with. You understand? So the tents all over the damn place, man. They out here getting paid, man. This cat got Amazon Prime, Netflix, they eating. And case in point, years ago, we had a nonprofit called Helping Families First. And we used to do charitable work all the time, Skid Row, feeding and clothing the homeless, man, going out there, evangelizing the truth. And I don't know how many times we had testimony from people out there who were sincerely down there just trying to get by and live. And they would be witnesses and say, look, these people don't need y'all. They don't need this food and all that, man. He said, man, they can go to the mission, they showering, they getting food, the whole nine. And they used to say, a lot of these people down here by choice. By choice. I'd have died right off. If y'all on here, man, tell me I'm lying. Y'all remember that? They say, man, people down here by choice, man. We should come out there with food in place. One time we had spaghetti and stuff. A cat took the plate, man, threw it on the ground. And said, y'all ain't got no chicken? Well, I want chicken, blah, blah, blah. And Jake's just about to lay hands on this cat, man. Because he just showed the fact that being ungrateful and spoiled and rotten, Israel. And that goes to show me, I said, man, a lot of these people, man, they out here out of choice. It ain't because everybody down on their luck. And case in point, here's this Edomite, man. He said he's getting paid to be homeless in San Francisco. Who else would like to just give it up and just say, you know what, shoot, I'm getting $620 a month. I'm getting Amazon Prime, Netflix. I can chill out on the streets. The cops don't bother me. I'm chilling in this tent. And then I can still go out there and hustle for some more money. He can budget out and eat. And say he go, listen, this is what they want. Completely collapse everything, man. That's Agenda 2030. Agenda 2030, man, where the property rights and everything else gets suspended. They taking over properties. They taking over people's lands. You getting removed into remote areas of small confined housings, electric cars, everything monitored, everything watching you. That's what this all is boiling down to. The more that you can get people homeless, the more you can go back, buy up their properties, get them about these buildings that they was in, affordable housing. See, that's the idea. They want everybody destitute, looking like this cat right here, man, strung out on dope, funding your habits, giving you little rations of food to eat, while the elite run every damn thing. See, James, a self-proclaimed junkie living in San Francisco, says the city's soft on crime policies and government assistance make it easy to be homeless. He shared how he received $620 cash and $200 in food stamps each month, while he sells Narcan to addicts and enjoys streaming services on his phone. That's right. Now is literally by choice. Literally by choice. If we're going to be realistic, they pay you to be homeless here, James said. San Francisco is plagued by drug addiction and homelessness. Mayor London Breed recently launched an emergency campaign to crack down on open air drug use and drug dealing in the city's crime ravaged downtown Tenderloin neighborhood. The city also opened a new linkage city center that connects homeless addicts with rehab facilities on January 18th. Meanwhile, President Biden also aims to battle drug addiction with his $30 million grant program intended to provide funds to nonprofits and local governments to make drug use safer to advance racial equity. Well, look at racial equity. Look who's getting it. Look who's receiving it. If that's racial equity. I mean, Esau always comes up, man. That's why you can't have no pity on these damn heathen. The little homeless Edomite man walking up to you saying, we'll work for food, ex-veteran, anything will help. The hell with him. They got access to everything that they want they need, man. The only thing that they doing is by choice. Otherwise, man, they could be reaping the fruits of their damn labors, man, being the wicked in control of the earth. And these are the cats, man, that get left out in the cold that they classify as, quote, poor whites. Why would you even classify that? Are there poor blacks? Are there poor Hispanic? We're already poor. But you guys say, oh, those are the poor whites over there. When you make that division, let you know that everybody else must be doing okay. These are like the casualties of war, man. So Esau can say, man, not all of us are balling. All of us ain't ruling. Look, it's homeless white man. But he's saying, man, I'm down here by choice, man. As long as you give me my food, my raiment, give me my $620 a month and my streaming services and let me sell my dope, I'm cool. This is the madness that we in right now. Homelessness in San Francisco Bay Area. Look at this now. And mind you, San Francisco and the Bay Area, man, it one of the most expensive cities to live in the country. Silicon Valley. One of the most expensive. You talking about an elitist place? An elitist place to live in, and the homeless people is out there on the streets. Uh, Look, although it's considered to be one of the most expensive cities in California, San Francisco is definitely worth the rage. Is it really? Presidio Heights, median home income. Look at this. Median home price is $4.9 million. Almost $5 million in that area. Seacliff, 4.2 million. Ashbury, 2.7 million. I mean, have we gotten anything under 100,000 yet? I mean, a million? No, 2.4 million. Pacific Heights, 2 million. Look at this madness. Nob Hill, 1.5 million. I mean, the list goes on and on. And now what they saying? Homelessness in the San Francisco Bay Area is now so bad, residents are being asked to house a homeless person in their own homes. This is what they doing up there. This is how they completely collapsing and reconstructing it, saying we create this homeless problem, man. They out there on their own. We supported them all this time. Now you sponsor a homeless person in your home. And no, you can't do that 10 cents a day madness online. I mean on TV. Like you do with the little poor Africans out there. Homeless paying a person to live in there. They're not even look. They are being asked to house a homeless person in their own home. Politicians and charities claim locals want to be a part of the solution. Charities are urging local families to take homeless people into their very homes in their spare rooms with little to no compensation. Mayor of Richmond, a city 20 miles from San Francisco, has set up a program to match homeless people with local landlords who have empty apartments. It will pay the landlords a year's rent up front to encourage them to forego the usual credit, employment, and background checks for tenants. He claims he has not faced any concerns about the tenants from those housing them because as the apartments were lower end in the first place. As whether people expressed concern about welcoming homeless people into their homes, he insisted the people who care about the plight of homelessness. Give me a break. Justice Department signals it may allow safe injection sites. So now the Justice Department is stepping in. They're saying we need more safe sites for people to go ahead and shoot up and snort and pop pills and drink up and do what they want to do. That's a further sign that they're just trying to collapse all cities, man, so they can quote build back better. Look at this madness, man. Meet the drag queen Biden just put in charge of nuclear waste. Yeah, it's true. He already got the tranny that's uh what's that dude's over something about health. Um, I don't know if it's Secretary of Health. Yeah, Ralph Levine. Oh, excuse me, Rachel Levine. There you go. See, get out of here. Let me make this quick because I gotta go. But okay, Rachel Levine, Ralph Levine, whatever. Here he goes. So he got the tranny as a U.S. Secretary of Health. Now he's just put a drag queen in charge of nuclear waste. Politico reported today that Sam Britton has been appointed the new Deputy Assistant Secretary of Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition in the Energy Department's Office of Nuclear Energy. Who is Sam Britton? Everybody's asking. A non binary drag queen into kink, in her own words. Whether they are walking in the halls of Congress to help educate the Hill on the differences in advanced nuclear reactors or belting out their favorite tunes with the gay men's choir chorus of Washington, D.C., it's hard to miss Sam Britton's passion for changing the world and potentially their stilettos. Give me a goddamn break. Good Lord. Look at this dude. Here he is right here with the dress on, the heels on, and these are his little kinky companions dressed as with dog mask on and damn bondage outfits. This is the debauchery that's going on leading this country. And you say that this isn't Babylon? Spiritual Sodom? Huh? Excuse me? Okay. Imagine this. We're not done with this guy. Look at him. Look at this. This is another picture of him in bondage. This guy's in dictating policy about nuclear waste and nuclear reactors and all of this. And I dare anybody. I don't want to get too graphic, man. But you see the dude in the leather dog outfit. You see his tail, and you see half his cheek is out. What is that tail in right now? How's it holding up? All right, I gotta get out of it. Good Lord. Look at this, man. Oh, more madness, man. Wife and mom of two arranged a threesome for her husband's birthday, reveals it made her realize she was a lesbian and led her to divorce him just weeks later. You can't make this stuff up, man. You really can't. She was a wife and a mother of two. Here she is trying to get spicy for the relationship, invites another female into the play. The lesbian turns her out, steals him from the husband, and she divorces the husband. And she says it was that threesome that made her realize she was a lesbian. No, it just makes you a wicked ass broad, man, who is lustful as hell. You telling me that's what made you realize you were a lesbian? I thought you was born that way. I thought it was already in you. I mean, you trying to tell me that you was able to have sexual pleasure with your husband at least 2 times to have 2 kids and your motherly instincts and everything else was intact? And all of a sudden you have a threesome with this female and boom, you get turned out? Twilight Zone, y'all. Teresa Rose, 36 from Oregon, who likes to go by her middle name, Rose, said she was always unhappy in her marriage but couldn't figure out why. Yeah, right. Then after having a threesome with her husband and another woman in 2020, she discovered what she was missing. Really? Rose said Rose said it made her realize how emotionally shallow her relationship was with her husband compared to the instant connection she felt with the woman. She decided to divorce him, but according to Rose, he got really nasty, you think, and outed her to her, quote, very conservative parents as well as her mutual friends, but then fell in love with a woman named Jackie Meadow. They've been dating more than a year now and are raising Rose's 2 sons together. Imagine what's going to happen to them boys. She says she's thanks to this threesome now. All of a sudden she's realized that she's a dyke. Romans 1:26, for this cause the Most High gave them up to vile affections, even their women did change their natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burning their lust one toward another, men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves the recompense of the error that was met. More or less, we see what's going on. And she says the husband got nasty and told everybody. You see, I was about to say it. B. With my two, I'm about to get a sound box and play some sound effects, and one of them is going to be too short. See, y'all know what I'm talking about. But this is more foolishness. All right. Wendy Williams, for all her gossiping, all her tea spilling, all her tail bearing, all that other rumors and stuff that she got, now the Most High is really striking her narrow ass down. Wendy Williams is locked out of her Wells Fargo bank accounts after it labels her an, quote, incapacitated person who needs guardianship after financial advisor claimed she was not of a sound mind. But this is also a lesson to be learned. Jay can go out there and make all this damn money, but how these Edomites that are running the show of their finances, all they got to do is say, you know what? Behind closed doors, he or she is actually losing their mind. They're not sound. We can't trust them with their money. Shut it down and only give me authority over their money. See how that works? Wendy Williams locked out of her Wells Fargo account. They said that she's incapacitated. She needs a guardian. She's not a sound mind. She can't control her own money. So now her financial advisor has got control of her money. Wow, how the mighty have fallen. So see what happens when you're involved in tailbearing, you're involved in backbiting, you're involved in evil communications, and that's not to say that's all she's done, but she's known for that. That's what got her on top. That's what got her into the situation that she's in right now. See, I was gonna go through scripture, but y'all should know that that's against the law. Look at this. Mean Girls pupil 13, who was detained 2 weeks for posting threats against staff and students, has charges dropped after cops find she was framed by a fellow 7th grader who set up an Instagram account in her name. This is why social media, man, is so dangerous, man. It's so wicked. I love y'all that's on here, man, but I don't like the internet like that because, look, you can't tell what's what nowadays, man. You can't trust nothing in a lot of manners. You got deep fake videos, you got catfishing, you got filters, you got fake storylines, you got fake accounts, bots, and everything else, man. You feel me? And this is a big old 13-year-old, man. Look how big she is compared to that cop. Good. I just noticed that. Now look at this. Nia Wims, 13, a student at Renaissance Charter School in Pembroke Pines, was arrested November 2021 after threats against staff and students were made. Nia was arrested and detained for 2 weeks while an investigation was carried out. So she got detained, locked up for 2 weeks for threats to staff and students. Okay. Her family was initially uncooperative with the police until the following month. It was then discovered a younger classmate, age 12 in the 7th grade, who set up false emails and social media accounts under Naya's name. When the 12-year-old was initially questioned, she lied to police, even showing them threatening messages she had received, which were, of course, from herself. She's charged with written threats to kill or to do bodily harm, falsifying a police report, penalty for disruption of school, and criminal use of personal information. This is what happens, man, when the youth get led astray. Most High told us, man, we're supposed to teach our kids the laws in Psalm 78, 5 through 8. We see about all of the laws in regards to evil communications and things of that nature, man. A 12-year-old made a whole fake account. Emails, social media, everything else, man. Set this girl up. Locked up for 2 weeks and it was all fake. Can you imagine? That's the dangers of the internet. All right. Speaking of that, CIA has secretly collected bulk data on American citizens. Senators say, no kidding. Tell us something that we don't know. Snowden, if you ain't seen that movie, he clearly detailed it with the NSA, PRISM, and everything else. Now they're coming out acknowledging it. CIA has secretly been collecting bulk data on American citizens. So don't be surprised if they know you, me, and everybody else involved. You know they know Israel. Case in point, are you using Zoom on your Mac? You should check your microphone setting after owners discovered app keeps on recording audio even when it's not in use. So if you got a Mac and you use Zoom and you're accustomed to utilizing it in the meetings, especially when it was quarantine time and Zoom meetings was in effect and everything else, how you think everybody, all them teachers and people was getting caught up with doing folly when they thought the damn camera was off and the microphone was off, saying stuff, doing stuff that they wasn't supposed to be doing. They just got through firing a sister, man, in Mississippi. She got busted during a school meeting. Her husband started engaging in sex with her while the damn live was going on, the Zoom meeting was going for class. And the teacher and the kids was like, oh, she over here getting smashed. And they just had to fire her. So if you got Mac and you got a Zoom, man, make sure that your microphones is off because the cloud recordings go into Zoom. And, those things can actually be hacked into, man. People take your recordings, everything else. All right. Just a warning. Look at this. Faith healer hammered a nail into a pregnant woman's head so she'd have a baby boy. You read that right. But look what is it. Pakistani officials are hunting a sorcerer who apparently hammered a nail into the head of a pregnant woman and narrowly missed her brain. If y'all remember in Acts 8, I'm short on time, but let me look at this real quick. Acts 8. Where was it? Acts 8 and 9. Yeah. Okay. But there was a certain man named called Simon, which before time in the same city used sorcery and bewitched the people of Samaria, giving out that himself was some great one, to whom they all gave heed from the least to the greatest, saying, "This man is the great power of God." See, this was going on all the way back then and beyond. That our people was going out looking for sorcerers and witches and soothsayers and familiar spirits and everything else, looking for divination from the Most High. Look at Saul. Saul went to the witch of Endor to conjure up the spirit of Samuel. And this is what happens, man. To see the heathen Pakistanians going out here, going to a quote unquote faith healer. And she messed around and got a damn hammer and knocked in her head. See, the problem is that the healer is the one with the faith. Yahweh Shai told the woman with the running issue of 12 years in Luke 8, he said, "Your faith have made you whole." The faith of healing comes from an individual's faith, not the man that pops up and says, "I'm a man of faith. I'm going to heal you by my faith." No, our own faith heals us. This is why the heathen don't know a damn thing, and they need to be put into subjection and in captivity so they can learn the righteousness of the Most High. All right. So that's just more ridiculousness going on. But we see examples of those out the scriptures, man. Acts 8, and Luke 8 as well, where Yahweh Shai said that the woman's faith made her whole. Okay. Higher inflation is probably costing everybody at least an additional $276 a month. Okay. Millennials and Latinos in the middle class are the top of the list. Who's feeling it the most? I was just, my rib do most of the grocery shopping, but I go to the stores too sometimes. I'll be looking at stuff like, what the hell? Or I'll, give her the money, she come back, and I'll be like, damn, what? That's all we got? It's like, yeah, everything done gone up. Everything is out of control. All right. But that's what they're estimating. You can expect to be spending almost another $300 a month moving forward, just on living expenses and costs alone. And people are saying everything is good, everything is fine. We got to really assess and see what's happening. When this war cracks off, whether it's Wednesday or whether it's the summertime, whatever, it's going to go down. All right. So when that goes down, things is really going to go get jacked up. Things are really going to skyrocket. Things are really going to be out of control. So that's why I tell brothers and sisters, man, do a little preparation. I'm not saying rest your faith in these goods and whatever the case may be, but it's always good to have something on deck, man. Make sure you got a little extra water on deck. Your canned goods if you need that. Just to make sure that you're able to get by. Because like I always said, famine don't mean just alone that there's no food anywhere. The food is accessible, but you cannot afford it. We talked about that in Revelation 6 about the a measure of wheat being equal to a day's pay, a day's wage. I mean, that's how much we're talking about. So as we're seeing the price to continually escalate, that's where things is headed, man. So especially when this war jumps off, it's only gonna get worse. So you think it's bad now? The stocks is already tumbling. They already. I mean, the stock's been down ever since January. Crypto, they just caught a couple, man, that swindled $4.5 billion in Bitcoin. I mean, everything is in shambles. You might see a little bit, come up over here, a little bit over there, up and down, But right now, most things is down, especially with the threat of war, the new the virus exposures and all of that other stuff. Man, businesses are being jacked up. The Federal Reserve has not raised the interest rates to try to offset the inflation, which is a tactic that they use. They're expecting to do that maybe like in March. So things are going to go up in March as well. March and after, prices are going to go up. As far as, when they raise up them interest rates, that means, home buying is going to be more difficult. Car loans gonna be more difficult because the banks now are gonna get hit with them interest rates, and they got to tack that on to those prices. Um, Interest rates going up for goods, services, and all that other stuff. That means people is gonna be less eager to spend. So that brings more value to the dollar. The more the people back away. But that's what it is, y'all. That's what it is, man. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, man. Shabbat shalom to everybody. Um, Glad that we back on the Messenger channel. Spread the word. Make sure that you like and subscribe to both channels. Wipe your feet over there at the Messenger channel too, man, so that algorithm can kick over there, man, and we can get that channel built back up after already experiencing the hardships of YouTube whipping us and taking us down. All right, so we back on, man. All praises. All right, so y'all be well, man. I'm gonna get up out of here, and Lord willing, see y'all a little later. We will be having our closing Shabbat class in a couple of hours, our Pacific time, closing out with the Sabbath. So around 3:30, 3:45, 4 o'clock, in that range, we'll be having our closing Shabbat class. It'll be live again. Coming soon. All right. Make sure you wipe your feet. Make sure y'all continually fear the Most High, keep the commandments, and don't ever shoot the messenger. All right. Shalom, y'all.